everybody. I said, hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Good. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone here for taking the time to recognize this opportunity to celebrate a larger idea. I believe that the most important thing that you may have in this life is your time. Your time. It's a valuable resource, and it's precious. So when I come into a situation like today, a moment like now, and I look out and see all of your faces, people that are willing to invest their time, something so precious, I recognize responsibility. I believe that you're here with a personal expectation to have my absolute best. I believe that what we have in common is the idea of increase. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear me? Did somebody out there hear me? I'm talking about increase. Why? Because when we talk about something that is so valuable, something precious, like your time, there has to be something given in exchange for it that's of equal value. Otherwise, it's a waste. So my goal in this moment is to recognize the value of your time and reach into my spirit and try to find the most valuable piece of information that I can share with you. The goal here is to speak to the idea of what? Increase. Say it with me. Increase. Increase. I believe that it's a natural, inherent part of life to seek expression, to seek growth, to seek development, to seek increase. I got on a plane the other day, and even in the most uncomfortable situations, given enough time, naturally, what you will start to do is spread out and relax. I believe that it's natural to seek increase, to aim to grow and to develop. Increase. Increase. The idea of seeking out increase is the reason why we are here today. I believe that. We're seeking out the ability to aim to be better. Give me a piece of something that will help me advance. Increase. Algae will grow on the side of a rock. It's a natural, inherent part of life to seek more of itself, to grow. Increase. So that said, let's speak to the increase. One day, I was in a situation where I was asked to come and speak. We were doing a training camp. It was much like any other training camp. I thought I was prepared. I thought I was ready. Seconds before I walked into the room, I heard the people begin to applaud as my name was announced. But just before I could actually put my foot in the door, I heard some music playing. And then what happened was after that, they started beating a drum. Boom, doom, doom, the champ is here. Doom, 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 the champ is here. I looked around puzzled and confused because just recently I'd come back from a very important competition and I wasn't awarded the top honor. The champ, the champ, the champ. Champions have trophies, big trophies, wonderful ribbons, medals hanging around their neck. I came back from that event without those things. They're expecting a champion. But I felt that I was fresh out of one. Before I knew it, I stepped into the room, began to walk down the center aisle, and all of a sudden, I realized that I didn't know who I was. They were asking for a champion. They were expecting a champion, and I thought I was fresh out. I took the center of the room. I looked around. They handed me a microphone, and then it was time to speak. They wanted to hear words from a champion. But if the champion is supposed to have medals hanging from their neck, top honors from the judges, and a huge-sized trophy, all of which I was fresh out of. What is a champion? I didn't know what to say. I was confused. I felt lied to, and I felt like I was about to lie to them. I took the microphone. I reached down my throat, deeper, deeper, deep again to this place where only the truth of your soul lies. And before I knew it, up out of my esophagus, over my teeth, and out into the room, the answer: what is a champion? It was there. It came out of my mouth. It was right there in the middle of the room, now for everybody to see. And I found my confidence again. You want to hear what happened? Do you want to know what it was? I took the stage and I realized I am a champion. I'm a champion. I am a champion because I recognize that it is my right and responsibility to decide what I will be, where I will go, who I will be in this life. I am a champion because I recognize that success is the product of work and right thinking. I am a champion because I am willing to do, once I decide to, any and everything necessary to see my goal realized. I say again, I am a champion. I am a champion. I am a champion. And it was there, out in the open. Everybody had to see it. And the funny thing is, when you speak, you always have that question mark of, well, should I have said that? Did that? No. Reflective in my own thinking, I realized, I'm pretty solid on that. Yeah, I believe that. It was from this place deep down inside of me in here. I'm standing on something that I believe is truth. Why is it important? Because I believe how you think is everything. It will make the difference between you, like me in that moment, being unaware, unsure, questioning, doubtful, solid, clear. What makes a champion? It's not born. by the power of your decision to use your personal power responsibly. Being a champion is about recognizing my responsibility, using the responsible use of what I am in control of. There are too many other things in this life that we can't control, but we're not focused on that. A champion is made by his decision to follow through with his commitment to his desired end result. So once I got that out the way, I was good and I was ready to continue. I say this to everyone in this room because if you are ever in a situation where you are not clear about the importance of why you need to identify yourself as a champion, it becomes very hard to evoke your personal responsibility if you are not. People will come here, much like I did. In the very beginning of my journey in training, I was looking for a bigger pair of arms, a bigger chest. And I thought that this is what I need to do. But on that road towards developing a bigger chest and a pair of bigger arms, I ended up discovering that there's a lot more. And a lot more changes would have to happen inside of here to facilitate the bigger and the growing pair of arms. The muscles of my character, the power of how I think, the harnessed use of the power of how I think. The next time any one of you go to the gym, think that this is just physical. I'm going to build my bicep. Think about the process. I reach my fingers, I wrap them around the bar. I'm conscious enough to focus on closing my entire hand. I pick up the weight from the rack. I extend and I contract and I contract. Complete contraction. Each time I do it, I'm expressing thoughts. 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 At the end of a year, at the end of 2 years, at the end of 7 years, I can develop a bicep. But the bicep is the product, the developed bicep is the product of my thinking. When I expose that or unveil it on stage, what I'm showing you is a body of work, but more importantly, I'm showing you what I thought about for the last 10, 15, 20 years of my life. Thoughts become things. When you understand that and you recognize your ability to consciously decide what you will think about, then you recognize that I can create not just a bicep, but anything. The trophy, the medallion, the ribbon, those things are the product of how a person thought. You can control how you think. You can decide what you will focus your attention on and what you will not. I believe what a champion does is they recognize their ability to decide, and they make the decision to go after the goal. And they follow that next decision up with more reinforcement and continued reinforcement. So a champion becomes a champion not because of who's in office or who's not in office, what side of the tracks you come from, whether it's from privilege or poverty. Because even with the most humblest beginnings, you can decide what you will become. Thoughts become things. When you understand it, it makes it that much more real to recognize how important it is that you think about what you want to do. Answer this question for yourself. Am I thinking about what I want more than I would think about the problems or potential objections? Because if I focus on the objections will multiply. It will incredibly overwhelming. But if I'm focused on troubleshooting, focused on the goal, focused on hitting my desired end result, then that makes me hardwired now to problem solve. I'm thinking critically, using my most powerful skills, and willing to use whatever resources now I have available to me to advance me towards the attainment of the goal. Somebody may sit here today and think that, man, well, how many grams of protein is it? How many sets? Yo, man, tell me about the most in-depth exercise that I should do in order to build my chest. That's the secret I need. Tell me, tell me, tell me. I wait for your answer. I'm telling you that all of that stuff is minutia. Become clear about the power that is yours, your ability to use your decision making and reinforce that in the attainment of a goal that is worthy of your best effort. That's the beginning. So, that said, I guess I'll open it up for some questions. Anybody got a question? Any question at all?
G'day, Kai.
Hey.
Who creates your posing routines?
I'm sorry?
Who creates your posing routines? Do you do it yourself or you get some help?
Usually, I've worked on doing, it was a very personal and private thing. But you know what? Getting ready for the Columbus Arnold Classic this year, I had a really cool, really cool dance choreographer. Her name was Nuba, and I bumped into her recently, and she's had more skills and more ideas than I could ever really even make good use of. She's just an amazing tool, just really awesome. I was very privileged to be able to work with her, but which is funny because I ended up realizing that I don't have the skill sets necessary to make efficient enough use of such a sophisticated tool. But it really did help me in preparing for that Arnold Classic in Columbus. But to answer your question, usually it's always, I think, just been an expression of what was inside of me, yeah. I would like to think that I was a lot more skilled, but I realized that, you're really like the fastest runner in the world until somebody pulls out a clock and times you, And it's a very interesting thing because you'll be the guy that, can dance on your own really cool and, find these really interesting ways to do stuff. But then you go to a dance class and you're thinking, oh, well, I do this. I could, intermediate, level 5, yeah, but whatever. And then you walk in there and realize, holy snap, I have no clue. They do 8 counts, 16 counts, 20 count choreography, and you're still stuck on not even one. You're now the giant elephant in the room that is confused and not anywhere near, on the level of even the lower level performer in the dance class. So anyway, I'm saying this to say that it's very humbling, very, very humbling experience trying to put together my routine for 2016 Arnold Classic with some of the bolder and larger ideas that I had in mind when trying to go and work with a professional choreographer and thinking that this will work, not without more skill set development, but it was a very cool experience, and I'm very, very happy with the result. Next question.
Hi, Kai.
Hey.
When it comes to motivation for yourself, what do you go to? Do you have like books or something like that you refer to when you're looking to pump up? Like when you're having those bad days, do you have like books or something you refer to?
I don't, we talk about bad days, I really don't understand. And as far as motivation is concerned,
I believe motivation comes from you, because ultimately it's you that decide to look at something and say that this is important to me. No, this is important to me. It can't be more important to my mama that I be a responsible, successful man than it is for me to want to be a responsible, successful man. Have you seen it? Everybody's had to seen it at some point in their life. You see that family member that's just hopelessly addicted to substances and stuff, and they just wildin', they just street wildin'. I've, had the privilege of knowing the crackhead in the house, that uncle always stealing stuff, not being responsible. Every time you see him, they in trouble. Got mama in church praying, oh Lord, if you could just help him do right. Love him to death. But they can't live his life for him. They can't make the decisions for him. They can see that this stuff is tearing him down. But because it's not their choice to make, as much as they want to see him do right, as much as they may pray to want to see him do better, the truth is, because it's his choice. If he chooses not to, ain't nothing they can do. It's the same thing with the person that turns around and says, hey, look, you know what? I'm going to stay on my diet. I am going to lose those 7 pounds this year. I swear to God. I swear to God. They'll start preaching to you about, yeah, you know what? Because when I decide I'm going to do it, I'm one of those people that are real. But they're eating cookies when they know they're not supposed to. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get a coach. I'm going to get a trainer. I'm going to pay a lot of money. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Get a sophisticated tool like a coach, a nutritionist. Write out a sophisticated diet strategy to help them attain their goal. But they still eating cheese and cookies. Motivation comes from you. Because ultimately it is up to you to decide how you will use your personal power, your ability to act. Anthony Robbins talks about and describes personal power as an ability to take action. Power. If you do not have a clear idea of who you want to be, what you want to be, and where you want to go, if you are not in touch with your why, how are you going to captain your ship? The motivation is yours because you say, this is important to me. I want this. And I've learned that the I want this means that I am willing to allow or search for anything that crosses my path. Once I decide that I want, then that's now my job to seek everything. Everything that happens to me, I'm supposed to look through it and identify how I can grow and develop from this and still in accordance to reaching my desired end result. That's your job. Because the ability to grow now lies in everything. They say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So the truth is, once I decide that this is where I'm going, this is what I want to do, well, now when problems come up, I have to exercise right thinking. Remember, we talked about this in an earlier portion of this thing. You know, a champion is a champion because he recognizes that it is his right, his responsibility. But more importantly, a champion is a champion because they recognize that the success they seek is the product of what? Work and right thinking. So when obstacles come up, rather than to walk away from them looking, oh, here it comes. Damn, why does this have to happen to me? Every time I decide, oh, here, you know what? It never fails. I just don't have good luck. Oh, you know, I just had another one of those bad days. No. How do I use this to help me advance in the direction that I want to go? What is the opportunity in this situation? I am going to seek out the opportunity in everything that crosses my path that's going to help me advance towards getting where I'm trying to go. That's my job, because I say that I want. But the I want is not expressed with what I say with my mouth. The I want is expressed with how I think. Because my actions will become the product of my thought. So motivation, it comes from within.